1, 2, 3, 4. I'm the hand of Mona Lisa's dress. I'm a smile on every criminal you'll ever acquit. I'm the things you've done you'll never admit. 'Cause one hand is on the Bible and the other's in shit. But right now, your face is in the crowd. I'm shouting out loud. The one you counted out of the game. Oh wow, take a good look at me now. Should've never had a doubt. Is that you right here screaming my name? I'm a roller, I'm a rider, a number one motherfucking survivor. So move over, I'm a driver, and I'm high and I'ma keep getting higher. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm the one you thought that you could erase, but a predator that's faster than the food that he chased. You fall off the horse you broke to the race. I'll be the one who's flying by you, kicking shit in your face. And right now, your face is in the crowd. I'm shouting out loud, the one you counted out of the game. Oh wow, take a good look at me now. Should've never had a doubt. Is that you out here screaming my name? I'm a roller, I'm a rider, a number one motherfucking survivor. So move over, I'm a driver, and I'm high and I'ma keep getting higher. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the NEXXTCAR Racing League. That is right, folks. We are back and we are better than ever here on the Sunday night showdown with the NEXXTCAR Racing League. Tonight, folks, if you guys have not noticed out on the tracks, it's a new series, it's a new era for NEXXTCAR, and we are welcoming the Gen 4 series to the NEXXTCAR series lineup here in the NEXXTCAR Racing League. And to help us count down to the very first green flag of double-digit seasons here for NEXXTCAR, that is the one and the only Peyton Tilluck. What's going on, buddy?
Nothing much, Ronnie. What's up?
Not much, man. I can't believe it. Season 10, it is here. It seems just like yesterday we made the switch from NASCAR Heat 5 on PlayStation to iRacing. But hey, Season 10 is here, and it is looking fresh, and it is looking new.
Oh yeah, Ronnie. This is actually extremely exciting. I mean, Season 10 in and of itself, an amazing accomplishment for NEXXTCAR. I mean, who'd have thought not only to made the move to iRacing, but here in our 10th season, that's just incredible. Crazy to see how far the league's come. Really proud of that. And what about this series, Ronnie? I mean, this is the first time that NEXXTCAR on iRacing has stepped away from the modern day NASCAR series and went a little throwback, broke out the Gen 4 cars. So the ultimate reset. Not a lot of drivers have a lot of experience in these cars, me included. So very excited to see the twists and turns this season will uh, come with.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you mentioned it. It's a fresh restart. Like you said, not a lot of guys have a lot of practice with these cars, and I'm hoping that a lot of guys did turn around and put the practice into these cars once the series was announced on the podcast and everything, you know, because these cars are completely different than what we have raced in seasons past. You know, you mentioned it. Excuse me. You know, the modern day gen, whatever you want to call it, next gen Xfinity cars, you can push with those babies. But these Gen 4 cars, Peyton, you better be careful with pushing because you'll lift the rear tires off the ground of the car in front of you. And if you're not careful and you get them in a really bad spot, well, it's calamity corner for everybody.
Yeah, I'll just go and tell people if they never saw like old school NASCAR. Well, have you ever seen any of these like races finish? You see like Dale Earnhardt win these races. You'll notice one thing: those guys aren't pushing and banging on each other. There's a little bit of gap between those cars, and they're fully relying on runs to pass each other. That's going to be a massive difference all season long, especially when you come to super speedways. So used to bumping and banging and all that. Well, there's going to be a little bit of gap, and if you try to push, it's going to cause issues. And I think it's going to be a huge learning curve early tonight. Is how different the style of racing is going to be for us.
You mentioned it. You cannot push. You got to let the air do its thing. You've got to be careful. You got to set up the runs. The days of, oh, let me get a big run and just push that guy in front of us to get by this other guy, those days are gone, Peyton, here on Sunday nights here in the Gen 4. You've got to set your car up. You've got to set that pass up. You're not just laying back and getting a big run in these babies anymore. You've got to set it up, corner, exit, set them up throughout the backstretch, down the tri-ovals. You've got to rely on the people behind you because if you don't have help behind you, Peyton, sayonara, see you later. You ain't making that pass.
Oh yeah, I mean, yet again, you saw it. If you ever, even if you didn't see it live, you'll see highlights. They run a line at the end. Like it's hard for you to pass on any help. That's why a lot of times being the controller of this series is so important. And you're going to see it tonight. Whoever can get out front will be in a really nice seat. It's going to take a bit of a run to get by them. So we'll see how these guys can do it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's what makes this even more exciting. We mentioned it. We're dipping back into the NASCAR history books here for the Gen 4. And there's no better time to get it here in what is our first double-digit series here in NEXXTCAR, Peyton, or season. 10 seasons, man. Like I said, it feels just like yesterday. We made the switch. We were coming to Daytona for the first time in season 1. A lot of mistakes along the way, but it has led us to where we are right here, right now, tonight. You know, a lot of learning opportunities, but hey, Gen 4, man, it is setting up and looking like it is going to be a good season. Hopefully, these cars provide the racing that we saw as a child growing up.
Way more good than bad, though, Ronnie. And of course, like each league's gonna have their learning moments, and we've had plenty of ours. But I think, like I said, it just shows how impressive it is, how far this league's came. Really exciting to have this opportunity to do something like this. It's a huge opportunity to do what we all love to do, and yeah, like I said, I mean, it's just I am so excited for this series, Ronnie. I just think it's going to be the most interesting series and possibly in NEXXTCAR history. So it's so exciting to get going tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. But, folks, we have got a lot to talk about before that green flag drops, Peyton. Not only are we dipping into the history books with the Gen 4 series, guess what, baby? The chase is back. That is right, folks. The playoffs, throw them out the window. Winning you're in, throw that out the window too, because you have got to rely on 17 consecutive great races to get that NEXXTCAR Cup Series championship trophy at Homestead Miami Speedway in 17 weeks, Peyton. The chase is back.
Yeah, that's so exciting. I mean, yes, in Xfinity it'll be feel a little more modern, but tonight I think it's crazy. We're in 2026. We're racing a car from the early 2000s, late 19s, and you're doing the playoff format. That's kind of the 2010 range. So there's a lot of moving pieces here, and I think it's so exciting because, in my opinion, I might be bold to say I think it is the best NASCAR format in
Mm-hmm.
NASCAR history. I really love the chase. I think it's perfect. It adds that level of developing through the season, getting better, and then has that playoff format while also rewarding drivers for being consistent throughout the regular season and being good in the playoffs. You got to still be good in the playoffs to earn a championship ring. So very excited to see it come to NEXXTCAR. I think it's going to like kind of strengthen this league even more. It's going to keep guys in it for the playoffs. No more are you eliminated after one bad race. You're going to have a hill to climb up, but you're still in that thing. So very excited to see how guys come up for that challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing I'm excited about is I know we talked about it on the podcast, but you're taking it out of the other driver's hands and your destiny is solely in your hands. You've got to come out here and you've got to deliver 10 weeks in a row to make the chase, 7 weeks to get that championship trophy. So you can't just rely on, oh, I'm good at this track in round one. Let me win here. I'm automatically moving on to the second round. Or, hey, let me win tonight at Daytona. Hey, what's going on? Season 10 NEXXTCAR playoffs. I'm here, baby. Absolutely not. You have got to deliver week in and week out, and it all starts tonight here at Daytona. So you mentioned it. One bad race, you got yourself one heck of a hole to dig yourself out of if you're going to make the chase and then that Cup Series championship trophy.
Yeah, I mean, as the late Kobe Bryant said, job's not done. It doesn't matter what race you win, what time it is. I mean, you have to have a great performance from the start of the season all the way to the end. There is no such thing as an off race. There's not a race you can just have bad and it not affect you any. Every race matters. Even in the regular season, making the playoffs and how good you do in the regular season rewards you. You know, points for the playoffs, set yourself in a better position. And then once you get in the playoffs, I mean, it's all or nothing. So very exciting to see that implemented in NEXXTCAR, and I think it's going to make it very interesting all season long because more and more so than ever does consistency get rewarded. How will drivers drive a little bit different? Some guys are always pedal to the metal going for wins, but I mean, all of us want to win, but hey, third place, roughly is sounding better and better with this kind of format. So is that risk worth it going for the wins? Time will tell us see which guys are willing to risk it all for the biscuit and guys who aren't.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, these drivers, they do not have a 17 easy weeks ahead of them as we're going to pull up your schedule here so you guys can see what exactly these drivers are going to go through. Let's take a look at your first 10 weeks of the season. You've got Daytona. Next week, Pocono. Week 3, Iowa. Then we go to Indianapolis Motor Speedway in week 4. Las Vegas in week 5, Peyton. Phoenix in week 6. Charlotte 7. Auto Club making its debut making its return to championship weekend in week 8. Then week 9 going to maybe the biggest surprising track from last season of Texas. And then Darlington, once again, back to the regular season cutoff race. So those 10 weeks are definitely a challenge for these drivers to make that chase.
Yeah, I mean, you just heard it. Like 3 of those first 4 weeks, I mean, thank the NEXXTCAR League owners for giving us a little bit of space to learn these cars with Daytona, Pocono, and Indy. A lot of room. Guys get to really get comfortable in these cars. I was a little bit different there, but yeah, you got some challenges going to the end of the season, and you're going to be on it, especially when it comes to Darlington. I think that's going to be a really exciting race. You're going to see guys, endless amount of throwback potential in this series, especially. That's going to be a really exciting race, not only for that, but this is a cutoff race. If we learned anything last season, Sure, we're going to a chase format, but even without the chase format, that last race of the regular season, that cutoff line's going to be really tight. I mean, we had so many guys trying to make the playoffs last season. The cutoff race was insane. I mean, I think even all the way up to like fourth in points wasn't fully locked in just yet. So you're going to see that again. Every point matters, and it's going to be a hell of a ride to get there.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's no longer, oh, these 8 drivers have a win. They're locked in. Now you've got all these drivers battling for just 4 spots. Throw that out the window because, like you said, from 4th all the way down last season was not locked into the playoffs because of just how tight it was all season long. And like you said, you're going to have that again this season with the chase format, and I'm absolutely loving it, and I am here for it.
Yeah, like we said, I mean, it's just everyone's going to have to be on top of their game from the start of the season to the end, which I think makes a race like this even more interesting. A lot of guys in the past view this as their way to, get wins and get in the playoffs, and now it's more so survive this race, get out of Daytona in a good spot in points, and I just think that it's going to make the whole like mentality of the driver just a lot different, especially with the no fast repair or implementing from last season. I mean, everything just leads to guys happen to be almost perfect to succeed in this league, and I love that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you mentioned it, perfection. Well, guess what? Those final 7 races of the season, you have got to be absolutely perfect. Michigan kicking off the chase. Week 12, we're going back super speedway racing at Talladega. Week 13, Nashville Super Speedway. Week 14 in the playoffs, folks. Our first and only road course of the season at Watkins Glen. Week 15, Kansas. Week 16, Richmond. And then that championship race is back at Homestead Miami Speedway, folks. Peyton, those 7 races, if you're going to make and win that NEXXTCAR Cup Series championship trophy at the end of Homestead Miami, you have definitely earned it because these are truly some grueling tracks that these drivers are going to have to endure in that chase.
Yeah, you've got a really great, nice mixed bag there. And then, talking about being a little bit throwback, you ended all of Homestead, which, of course, historically has been NASCAR's championship ending. So, just really exciting playoff format, really exciting races. I mean, it gives guys a lot of opportunity to show off their skills, especially with the different tracks that are on there. So, like you just said, I mean, whoever is our champion this season, it's the whole reason why NASCAR went back to this and how I'm excited about it here in NEXXTCAR. Whoever your champion is, there's no doubt that they absolutely earned it. They had to put the elbows up, earned it in the regular season. Then those final 7 races were perfect, stayed out of trouble, and finally just earned it. So it's very exciting as a league to see how that falls out.
And how about the only road course race of season 10 finds itself in week 14, flat dead straight in the middle of the chase at Watkins Glen. I know, it's got the reputation of being one of the easiest road courses, but in the chase, man, it is going to present itself nicely.
Truly the wild card of the playoff. Because who knows how that's going to go, especially in these cars. Xfinity might be a little bit more predictable for us all, but especially in these, and we're going to see who learn these cars throughout the season the best because like that's going to be a huge race. I think when it comes to the playoffs, if you struggle there, you're going to put yourself such in a big hole for the championship race. However, if you can go out there and perform, you're going to be in a good spot. So very interested to see how that goes. It's going to be hard, Ronnie. It's going to be a tough schedule, and I think a lot of guys are going to be looking forward to that Watkins Glen race.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, this is just Sunday night. We've got a whole new series coming back on Monday night, Peyton. The O'Reilly series, formerly known as the Xfinity series. Well, we're reuniting on Monday nights with it. It is coming back to NEXXTCAR, and I'm excited about Xfinity cars coming back. Easily, probably the greatest racing series when it comes to iRacing. Just something about those Xfinity cars. Sure, you hit a fly, you might break it, but it provides some of the best racing you will see.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I'm very excited, not only for the challenge of the next gen, but see Xfinity back. I do agree it's probably NASCAR's best series in the iRacing world. I think those cars are just so like driver skill dependent. Very excited to see how that goes. Less dirty air in those cars than others. So um, very exciting to see them back in Monday night. I think they're going to give a hell of a show. So tune into that series. I think you'll have your excitement here, and you're definitely going to have your excitement in Xfinity too. So um, we got a crazy lineup of series this season, Ronnie, and just I'm sure you're gonna have fun in the booth. Let me tell you, us drivers, it's gonna be a challenge. I think this is two of the like. While I just said Xfinity is very exciting, I think it's also very challenging. So you have two series that are gonna be very demanding on the drivers for skill. So it's gonna be a hell of a series to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to ask you this question. I know you're probably not going to have a great answer for it because, like we've said all night long, this is our first time here in the Gen 4 cars. How do you see this race going tonight?
I just think strategy, and not only that, but playoffs will be on everybody's mind because yes, it's the first race of the season. You've got a long season to go to set that field, but 10 races is not as much as you think. And surviving Daytona with good finishes is going to be absolutely key to make that field. So I think guys are going to try to stay out of trouble, be careful of these cars, especially at the beginning. However, I do think there's going to be guys that are going to be full checkers or wreckers mentality and will be aggressive, especially for stage points, because stage points are at a premium now. They're way more important than they were in previous seasons. So it's hard to guess how this truly can go, Ronnie. I think some drivers are going to have completely different mindsets than others. So we'll see how it goes. But either way, I know it's going to be fun for you in the booth to watch.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited about that. Hey, Tuck, you're in here, yeah?
Hi.
What's up, buddy? Welcome. Thanks for joining for the last 2 minutes of the pre-race show.
Oh, I just over the river and through the woods to Mother Tucker's house we go. So
How many people did you wreck along the way?
2. There was a pile up on I-70 that I'm not gonna talk about. But okay, yeah, but I'm here. So
yeah, man. Well, welcome. It's season 10, baby, and it is time for the Gen 4 cars to hit the track for the first time in NEXXTCAR.
yeah, I was listening to you guys talk there. I mean, it's gonna be a good season. I think the Gen 4 cars, like we talked about last week on the podcast, are going to be very difficult for these first couple of races. But this first race, I mean, it's going to be anybody can go out there and give themselves a win. But like you said, points are going to be a premium to get and make the chase this year. And just looking forward to it.
Absolutely. But fellas, qualifying is right around the corner here at the high banks at Daytona International Speedway. So I'm going to let you guys go. I appreciate you guys jumping up here for the first time here in Season 10 of the NEXXTCAR Pre-Race Show. Best of luck to both of you guys tonight.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, Ronnie. Checkers for Records is going to try to put on a show.
Moo.
Yes, sir. But, folks, that is going to do it for your NEXXTCAR pre-race show here for the first time in Season 10. Folks, right around the corner, the Gen 4 Cup Series making its debut here in the NEXXTCAR Racing League. What kind of racing are we going to see? Only time will tell. But, folks, this is Daytona International Speedway, and this is the NEXXTCAR Racing League.
Time now we set it off. Here we go. Red lights, I could never stop. A dreamer with the fever to be great was all I ever want, was all I ever wanted. A fighter with the fever for the fame was all I ever want, was all I ever wanted. Got me singing like
Beneath the scorching Florida sun, where the roar of the engines echo like thunder, lies a hollowed ground that defines motorsports. They call this the World Center of Racing. This is where legends are born, where fearless drivers push the limits of speed, and where the pursuit of glory reaches its pinnacle. The 2.5-mile oval with its treacherous high banks is the stage for the greatest battle in motorsports. Here, every turn is a test of courage and a challenge of endurance. When the pace car hooks that hard left onto pit lane and the green flag drops, the race for NEXXTCAR immortality begins. This is more than just a track. This is where history is written in the roar of the engines and the hearts of those who dare to race. This is no ordinary race. This is where greats become icons. History is made, and the roar of the engines will echo through time. This is where the unexpected becomes the unforgettable. Welcome to Daytona. All right, folks, welcome back here to the NEXXTCAR Racing League here at Daytona International Speedway. Tonight, we are getting ready to kick off Season 10 here with 100 laps around this 2.5-mile track. Let's check out your race information here tonight for the season kickoff 250 presented by True Designs Racing Cockpits and W Energy. True Designs back on board for the third consecutive season as the premier sponsor of the NEXXTCAR Racing League. If you guys do not know what True Designs is, it was a paint scheme creating company owned and operated by our very own Nicholas Trudeau. He has painted so many of these beautiful schemes you're going to see out here on the track tonight and now tomorrow night when the O'Reilly series comes right back here to Daytona. 100 laps. That's stage break coming at lap 45. 79-degree air temperature, 63% humidity under clear skies with 15-mile-an-hour wind, folks. That track temperature. 110 degrees Fahrenheit, folks. That track is hot. That track is slick. These drivers driving a vehicle that they do not have a whole lot of practice on, and that means one thing and one thing only. We are in for a wild show tonight. But, folks, qualifying coming to an end in 30 seconds. Tonight, the Gen 4 making its debut here in the NEXXTCAR Racing League. Tomorrow night, the O'Reilly Series making its long-awaited return to NEXXTCAR. Two series, one making its debut, one an old friend. What a series list we have ourselves here for Season 10. That is right, folks. I can't believe it. Season 10 is finally here, and we are hoping it turns out as good as the anticipation has made it. But, folks, qualifying has come to an end. That means one thing and one thing only. It is time to get this race kicked off here at this 2.5-mile track. Let's check out your starting grid for tonight. Grabbing the first pole of the season, Patrick James in that 82. Starting to his outside, Cole Morton in that 94. Row number 2 is going to go to Ronnie Norman in the 7th with Robert Babcock in the 6th. Row number 3, Steve Bocock and Trenton Branson. Row 4 is going to go to Adam Curtis and Caleb Bland with Daniel Smith in 9th and Paint to Luck rounding out your top 10. Gary Wills in 11th with Kyle St. John in 12th. Kevin Reddick in 13th. Paul Irv in 14th. Row number 8 is going to go to Matt Tucker in the 25 with Josh Krause in 16th. Colin Bollinger in 17th with Rayshawn Wingfield in 18th. Hunter Manley 19th. Austin Walton rounding out your top 20. Robert Song in 21st with Dougie Higgins 22nd. 23rd going to go to Cam Jester. 24th, Lonnie Wiggins. And that will round out your NEXXTCAR Gen 4 field here tonight to kick off Season 10. What do you say we try to dial up your pole sitter, Patrick James? All right, not seeing Patrick James on the radio, so we're going to dial up your outside pole sitter, Cole Morton. Cole Morton, it's Ronnie in the booth. You got me, buddy?
What's up, man? I got you.
All right. Yes, sir. I've got you loud and clear. All right, brother. You know, the Gen 4, it is making its debut here in the NEXXTCAR Racing League. You now have qualified on the outside pole of that front row. What's it going to take to keep that beautiful 94 Monte Carlo up front?
Man, I'm trying my best to stay consistent, keep my lines clean, and hope nobody gets into the back of me, you know what I mean? On the restarts, if I'm not in the lead, like on the front row, try to stay in the draft. 'Cause if you lose the draft in these, you're done.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we've ran the next gens, we've ran Xfinity, we've ran the trucks, we have never ran the Gen 4. How do you think that learning curve is going to be tonight here at Daytona?
I think here at Daytona, it's not going to be so much of a problem as it is once we get into the intermediate tracks. The Saints have a whole bunch of power they can get away from it real quick.
Absolutely, buddy. Best of luck tonight.
Appreciate it, bud.
But, folks, that was your outside pole sitter, Cole Morton, in that 94 Morton Men Racing Chevy Monte Carlo. The field, side by side behind your iRacing pace car down the backstretch for the first time in Season 10. But drivers, reach down there and tighten that steering wheel one more time. Here is the pace truck is leading the Gen 4 Cup Series off of turn 4, looking to hook that hard left onto pit lane. The control of the field is in the flagman's hands. And for the first time here in Season 10, we are racing here at Daytona in the Gen 4 Cup Series. Green flag is in the air. Up through the gears they go, bumper to bumper, side by side here down the front stretch, heading into turns 1 and 2. The field, side by side all the way through. Morton pulling out in front, getting himself a gap between himself and the 6 of Robert Babcock just behind him. But here comes Patrick James powering on the bottom. He's got Ronnie Norman in the 7 just behind him. The field side by side fanning out. That bottom lane starting to get a big run here down the backstretch this time. The first 2 on the inside line, clear the outside line. Norman, James, clear the outside line. Here comes Steve Bocock looking to do the same at the 12. And he will. The first 4 cars on that bottom line clear that outside line. Now Morton's going to try to drop down to the bottom. He's going to find himself 6th on that inside row, back in that 6th position. That's going to leave Robert Babcock in that number 2 Miller Lite Ford leading the charge on that high line. But out front, Patrick James continues to lead the charge with Norman, Steve Bocock, Adam Curtis, Daniel Plant Smith just behind him. Let's jump on the roof cam of Daniel Smith here, riding around in that 5th position, that 31 Chevy Monte Carlo, just behind Adam Curtis in the 69. Peyton Tulloch finds himself down 3 spots since the drop of the green flag, back here in that 13th position. Now here on lap 3, the majority of the field single file hugging that yellow line. Nobody daring to make a move to the outside here at this point of this race. Everybody just kind of trying to ride along here. Norman's going to drift up a little bit in the 7, just behind your leader. James on the apron here through turns 3 and 4. Man, great job by James keeping that 82 Chevy under control down through turns 3 and 4. I'm sorry, forward down through turns 3 and 4. That's going to allow Ronnie Norman to get right back to his back bumper here at the line to start lap 4. You know, we heard Cole Morton mention it in the interview before the race. You do not want to lose the draft. And right now, Trenton Branson flirting with losing the draft back here at the tail end of the field. If you lose the draft, it is game over here in the Gen 4 cars, folks. You do not get the run up that you normally would in the next gen. So if you start losing this draft like it looks like he's on his way to doing, this is not good news if you are a fan of the 32 of Trenton Branson. Started 6th, looking like he's maybe tried to drop to the back of the field to just drop back and ride, but unfortunately I think he is on his way a little too far back, but back here in that 24th position. But out front, Patrick James continuing to lead the way here in that 82 Ford Taurus with the rest of the field all single file behind him. The first one out of line, no shock here, the 53 of Colin Bollinger in that Dr. Pepper Ford Taurus. Bollinger, a previous NEXXTCAR champion. He knows how to get it done here at the super speedways. Just ahead of him, Austin Walton. Just behind him, Caleb Blam, your regular season champion on Sunday Night Prime Time last season. What's it going to take for Caleb Blam to possibly get it done this season here in the Gen 4? But up front, Kevin Rodican, he's stepped out of line. He's jumped to the high line here, just to the outside of Peyton Tulloch here. This is the battle for 10th. Robert Song just to his inside, making now Matt Tucker into 25. Oh, that inside line starting to get a little squirrely. The 48 jumping out of line here. Make that Paul Irvin into 48. Is he going to make the run to the outside of the 55 of Kyle St. Jean? Thinks better of it. Now Matt Tucker's leading the charge on the high line in the 25 G-Max Chevy Monte Carlo. That outside line starting to form up a little bit here, folks. 25 of Tucker dropping down, trying to side draft as much as he can off that high line. We talked about it. You've got to set these passes up here in the Gen 4 cars. You're not just going to get that big run on the next guy. You've got to do something to manipulate the air around him. You've got to side draft. You've got to get the big push from behind. Bollinger leaving himself a car length between himself and the 25 and the 53. So that's not going to be enough for that 25 to work his way up there. But now the 53 getting to his back bumper here down the backstretch. Let's jump into helmet cam of that 53 of Colin Bollinger. Oh, down onto the apron. Almost goes the 3 of Rodican. He keeps it under control. Now Tucker's going to abandon the high line. He's going to drop to the bottom. That's going to leave Colin Bollinger now leading the charge on that high line. Bollinger not going to be too happy about that. He jumped up there to work with the 25, but now the 25 abandons that high line and drops back in line on the bottom. Austin Walton just behind the 3 in that 9. He's got Caleb Blam, your regular season champion a season ago in season 9, back here behind him. Now Rodican jumps up to the outside. He's going to lead the charge in that Goodwin Chevy. The field single file all the way back to 13th position where they are side by side just behind Matt Tucker. Austin Walton, Kevin Rodican side by side for 13th. 9 down low, 3 outside. The 3's got the help of the 53 just behind him with the 1 just behind him. Daniel Smith riding around still in that 5th position at 31 Keystone Light Chevy Monte Carlo. Got Cole Morton, the outside pole sitter, just behind him in a Morton Men Racing 94 Chevy. Let's jump on board Daniel Smith. Just behind him, Cole Morton in 94 riding around. You know, we heard Morton talk about it. You cannot afford to get up there and bump these guys. You've got to let the air do its thing. And that's exactly what you're seeing right now. Now, when that white flag drops, that's a whole nother ball game, folks. You're going to see these guys using a bumper, getting every little push, every little momentum run that they can. But right now, these guys just riding around, letting the air do its thing here around this 2.5-mile track of Daytona International Speedway. Now, Kevin Rodican, he has cleared that inside line. He's trying to figure out if he wants to drop to the bottom or stay up top. Bollinger just behind him in the 53. Going to get a little bit of a bump there from Hunter Manley. Manley in the number 1 Pennzoil Chevy. He's riding around here. This is for the battle for 15th. Austin Walton just to his inside. Now the 3 goes back to the outside. 53 drops it back down below. And now the 3 is going to get shuffled out. Kevin Radican, no help behind. Now the outside line forming back up once again. Payne Tulloch's going to lead the charge up here in the 17 Chevy Monte Carlo. He's going to get to the outside of Gary Wills in the 7. Oh, and around's going to go your first caution to 30. I think that's Gary Wills. The name we just mentioned, Bollinger's around. Austin Walton around as well in the 9. Caution is out for the first time here on lap 10. Something amiss with the 30 of Gary Wills coming out of turn 4. Let's back it up and let's see what happened. Was it a block gone wrong maybe here through turns 3 and 4? He's got the 55 of Kyle St. Jean right behind him. The 30 drifts up right there. Yeah, the 55 gets underneath him when the 30 drifts up, and Gary Wills tried to cover that spot and, well, unfortunately, not able to do so. Let's jump on the roof cam here of Kyle St. Jean. Yeah, right here, 30. Right here, drifts up right there just ever so much. And the 55 got a heck of a run there, but unfortunately, going to nose head on into that inside wall. Let's jump on the helmet cam here of St. Jean. Now, Gary Wills, let's jump on his helmet cam, who had absolutely no idea that this was coming. He does a great job of locking it down here, minimizing his damage. Now let's jump on the roof cam here of Colin Bollinger in the 53, who you saw sliding late. Happens 2 cars right in front of him. Oh, he gets hit from behind. Again, another driver does a great job of minimizing damage here. Doesn't even hit a thing here. I think it was Austin Walton that gets into the back of him. Yes, it is. Yeah, right there, 53 lifts. Oh, the 9 got hit from behind as well. Was it the 1 of Manley? I kind of want to say it was the 1 of Hunter Manley that got into the back of him here as well. But just one of those things where you can't see what's happening. No, it was it was Robert Babcock. Yeah, you can't see. Let's back it up here and let's jump in the cockpit here of Babcock. Yeah, just big checkup, and unfortunately, you can't see 2 cars ahead of you. But under caution for the first time tonight. But Patrick James continuing to lead the way here around the Daytona International Speedway. 13 laps completed, and they have all belonged to that 82 Chevy Monte Carlo. But folks, the lights are off on the iRacing pace car. That means one thing and one thing only. We are going back racing this time by. Row 1, Patrick James and Josh Kraus. He's elected to stay out, so your front two drivers staying out under this caution. Everybody else came down pit road, topped off on fuel. Ronnie Norman, Daniel Smith, row 2. Steve Bocock, Paul Irvin, row 3. Caleb Lamb, Cole Morton, row 4, with Peyton Tullock and Matt Tucker rounding out your top 10. Steve Bocock, what is it going to take to see that 12 finish a race at a super speedway? He has won everything at a super speedway that does not count for points. He's won Speed Weeks. He's won the duels. He's won the Clash, but he has never won a points-paying race at a super speedway. Honestly, I don't even know if he's finished a race at a super speedway for points. So what is it going to take for the 12 to do so? Can tonight be the night that Steve Bocock can finally break through and get his first NEXXTCAR Racing League win? But folks, the pace truck looking to hook that hard left onto pit lane. The control of the field is in the hands of the 82 of Patrick James. Into the NEXXTCAR restart zone we go. Green flag back in the air here at Daytona. We are back underway, and a great launch by the 82. Caught the 7 and the 86 both sleeping. 86 with a big push from the 31. Oh, big run here for Kraus on the outside line. Can he get back dead even with the leader here through turns 1 and 2? He's got one of the best in the business behind him in Daniel Smith. Down the backstretch they go this time. Oh, Kraus is going to... Can he clear the 82? He cannot. The 82 is getting a big push from Norman. Norman all over the back bumper of the 82. Now... Smith all over the back bumper of the 86, and Kraus just ahead of him. You saw Kraus getting wicked loose that time through 3 and 4. But they're going to be dead even at the line this time, folks. Dead even. It's going to be Kraus leading his first lap of this race, and the first lap of this race not led by, Patrick James. Now, Smith drops to the bottom. He's going to abandon the 86. This is exactly what we talked about in the pre-race show, folks. You have got to set the guy up, and that is exactly what the 31 of Smith did to the 86. He got the 86 out there clear. Then the 31 cleared himself. Then he dropped down to the bottom. And look at where he's at now versus where the 86 is. Now Kraus fighting to stay inside the top 5. Daniel Smith, one of the best in the business when it comes to racing. Now, leading the way here on lap 17 at Daytona. But just behind him, your pole sitter, Patrick James. On board the 82, Patrick James all over the back bumper of the 31 of Daniel Smith. Down the backstretch they go this time. Kraus back there in 10th. So that right there, folks, shows you exactly what the difference is when you make a move like that. Now Kraus going to try to drop to the bottom, and he can't do so. The 48 covers. That's Paul Irvin. Now Kraus stuck in no man's land in the middle. Is Bollinger going to let him? Oh, Kraus going to cut the nose off the 53 of Bollinger. Bollinger going to give him some room to come back up. I guarantee you Bollinger would not have made that move if it was little later in the race. Now Bollinger drops to the bottom with the 1. But out front, Daniel Smith, Patrick James, Ronnie Norman, Steve Bocock, Cole Moore, and your top 5, Peyton to luck. He's up 4 spots from when the drop of the green flag. Trenton Branson, remember, not too long ago, folks, we were talking about how he was on the verge of losing the draft of this thing. Well, here he is just sitting outside the top 5 in 7th. That is how quickly things can change here at Daytona International Speedway. Branson on the verge of losing the draft of the lead pack, now up inside the top 10. Robert Song just inside the top 10 in 10th in that number 8 Chevy Monte Carlo. Beautiful paint scheme here, that Exalta Chevy. But folks, if seeing these cars, these paint schemes out on the track does not take you back to your childhood, back to the early 2000s, then I don't know what will, because this makes you feel like you're watching it live back in 2003. But out front, Daniel Smith continuing to lead the way with your pole sitter, Patrick James, just behind him. A little bit of a gap here between Trenton Branson and Peyton to luck now. But out front, folks, Patrick James looking to make a move. Thinks better of it, drops back down below the 12 of Bocock. He was ready to go. Here comes the 17 of Peyton to luck. He's trying to power his way around the outside. Thinks better of it. Has to drop back in behind the 7 of Norman. But folks, the field starting to fan apart here. Hassan leading the charge on the outside. He's got the 48 of Paul Irvin just behind him. Caleb Lamb just behind him with the full head of steam from the 30. He's working his way back up towards the front. Gary Wells, he was involved in that latest incident. Great shot of the field down through turns 1 and 2. The lead pack, single file here on lap 21. Kevin Radican, the last car in this lead pack, back in that 16th position. Then Lonnie Wiggins by himself. Adam Curtis and the rest of the field just behind them with Austin Walton, Robert Babcock, Hunter Manley, Josh Crouch, and Cam Jester rounding out your field right now in that 23rd position. Cam Jester making his return to the NEXXTCAR Racing League in that Air Force Ford Taurus. Beautiful scheme. But out front, Daniel Smith continuing to lead the way. You can see it on the ticker there, folks. Daniel Smith up 8 positions from where he took the green flag. Bain to luck up 6. Morton down 4. Tucker up 7. Irvin up 5. Right now, your biggest loser of the race back in that 19th position. Robert Babcock down 15 spots. Jumping on the gyro cam here, Paul Irvin in a 48, back in that 9th position, just inside the top 10. Riding around behind the 25 of Matt Tucker, just ahead of him. But Daniel Smith continuing to lead the way here on lap 24 as we are officially just over the halfway point of this first stage. The stage ending at lap 45. 20 laps to go here in stage one. These drivers, the majority of this field, single file, now really starting to split apart here. This third pack side-by-side racing with these guys running side-by-side. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing here because all that is doing is slowing them down. But now Adam Curtis is going to drop back in line here in the 69. Your front nine have broken away from the rest of this field. Bollinger back here in the 10th spot. He's got Caleb Lamb, Robert Asong, Rayshawn Wingfield with him. Then Gary Wells leading that third pack. So it is a 9-car breakaway here in the front pack of the Gen 4 here in the NEXXTCAR Racing League. Kraus is on pit road in the 86. Looks like he spun it onto pit road. That's something that these guys, we didn't really talk about in the pre-race show. Getting onto pit road under green flag conditions. Remember, the 86 stayed out under that latest incident, so he's going to be getting a little low on fuel here. Same with Patrick James in the 82. So if you saw the 86 come down, you've got to think, how close is that 82 on fuel? Kraus is back down in the way in the 86, but unfortunate events coming to pit road by himself. That is not what you want to see if you are a driver out there tonight. You do not want to make that pit stop by yourself. But unfortunately, that is the reality for the 86 of Kraus. But down and away in that 86 Monte Carlo. Just ahead of the leaders, Cam Jester coming off of turn 4. He's coming to pit road this time. Jester trying to get that 21 Air Force Ford Taurus slowed up in time, and I think he did. Great entrance. Now Patrick James coming to pit road as well. So he's going to have a dancing partner here in Cam Jester. So as long as those two can possibly try to get off together, this would be definitely helpful for that 82. But out front, Daniel Smith, Ronnie Norman, Peyton Tulloch, Steve Bocock, Cole Martin, your top 5 with Branson, Tucker, Irvin, and Bollinger rounding out that top split. Great shot of the second pack coming down through turns 3 and 4, being led by the 30 of Gary Wells. Dougie Higgins just behind him with Kevin Radican, Adam Curtis, and Austin Walton. Cam Jester and Patrick James, they did not come off together. Patrick James coming back up onto the track here just ahead of your leaders. This might get a little dicey here. Where is Smith going to lead this field to get around the lap car? James goes up high. James goes up high and just lets the field go on by here as we are coming to start lap 30 of 45. James going to try and jump in line here behind the 48. Let's see if this second pack's going to try to pick up the 82 or if they just try to work their way around him. He's going to stay in line. No, the 53 is going to go to the outside. 53 bounces it to the outside of the 82. It's going to take the 4 of Lamb, the 8 of Hasong, and the 1 of Rayshawn Wingfield with him. But Wingfield's going to get stuck side by side with the 82. This is not going to help the 1 of Rayshawn Wingfield. He is going to lose the draft of his buddies in front of him. So now the 1 on the outside all by himself. Now he's going to have to drop in behind the 82 and hope the 82 can keep the draft of the 8 of his song just ahead of him. That is not what you want to see if you're a Rayshon Wingfield or a fan of his, because look at what has happened. He has lost contact of his 3 drivers ahead of him. Now he's got the lap car of the 82 just in front of him. So now Rayshon has got to hope that that 82 can maintain the draft of the cars ahead of him. Gary Wells just behind him with a full head of steam. He's got 7 cars in his pack. But with 14 laps to go here in stage 1, folks, these drivers looking to continue to put it all on the line here at Daytona International Speedway. Majority of the field, single file. Cam Jester just ahead of the leaders here down the backstretch. He's going to hold it up against the outside wall. Ronnie Norman continues to ride around behind a 31-year leader, Daniel Smith. But, folks, you can see at the 82, he was able to keep contact of the guys in front of him. The Hassong, Lamb, and Bollinger train. But where did Rayshon Wingfield go? He's back here in that 19th spot. But now he's dropping even further back. He's got Manley just ahead of him. But now can Wingfield keep contact of the cars ahead of him? And all of that, if you don't remember, stemmed with the 82 coming off of pit lane. He got stalled side by side with the lapped car. He lost the draft of the 3 that he was working with, fell back to the group behind him. But now he has lost contact of the cars ahead of him. And, folks, just as quickly as you can gain positions here at a super speedway, you sure can lose them just as fast. But out front, Daniel Smith continuing to lead the way here as they get underneath the 86 of Kraus here through 3 and 4. Remember, Kraus was the first driver that had to come to pit road by himself. But quickly closing in on the conclusion of stage 1 in 10.5 laps. It continues to be an 8-car breakaway for the front. Front 3 cars, nose to nose. Bollinger all the way back here leading the second pack. Himself and Caleb Lamb leading the charge there. Those 2 inside the top 10, where in 10 laps they will receive points here when the the checkered flag waves for stage 1. Branson continuing to do his thing here in that 32 Chevy. He knows how to get it done at a super speedway. Can tonight be the night that that 32 machine can return to victory lane for Trenton Branson? Only time will tell. But, folks, he is definitely a good one when it comes to super speedway racing as well. Just behind him, Matt Tucker in the 25. Paul Irvin just behind him in the 48. Where is the first move going to come from here as we are closing in on the end of stage 1? These drivers, for the last 37 laps, have been kind of riding around. But as we get closer to pay dirt here in 8.5 laps, they are not going to be fine with just riding around. I can guarantee you that. That second group, not going to be a factor in the closing laps of the stage 1, unless we get a caution here late. But right now, with coming to 8 to go, they are 4.6 seconds behind Paul Irvin, the tail end car of that lead pack. 0.8 of a second separates first through 8th. Robert Babcock back here working with Hunter Manley in the 17th and 18th position. Ronnie Norman really on the back bumper of the 31 of Daniel Smith, just ahead of him that time through the trial heading into turns 1 and 2. Let's jump on the roof cam here of Ronnie Norman. Let's see what kind of a run he gets down the backstretch this time. The last time at the line, he was all over the back bumper of that Keystone Chevy just ahead of him. Back to the bumper he goes here in the Menards Chevy. Daniel Smith returning this season to NEXXTCAR, but showing these guys, hey, don't forget who I am. Coming to pit road this time, folks. Green flag pit stops underway. Smith's going to lose it on the pit road, keeps it under control. Six cars. More cars coming out back, being led by Colin Bollinger. Let's see who's going to get off pit road first. This is going to be absolutely crucial, folks. Who gets on pit lane? Who gets off of pit lane? Ronnie Norman, black flag. Daniel Smith, black flag. More black flags, penalties coming as well. Gary Wills, black flag. All these drivers having to make drive-through penalties at the end of their pit stop. Norman, Babcock, Daniel Smith. You see them all sitting on pit road, choosing to take the penalty now. Branson coming to pit road here in the 32. Paul Irvin doing the same. Here comes Kevin Riddicken. Man, this green flag pit stop, folks, has just changed everything. Now, Branson, Radican, Irvin being shown your leaders. But once they come off of pit road, Matt Tucker, Payton to Luck, they should cycle to the front here. You can see it right there. Branson down on the apron. Irvin just coming now through turns 1 and 2. Easily. Payton to Luck, Matt Tucker, Steve Bocock going to make the pass. Irvin comes up onto the track. Those three blow by him. Irvin not up to speed yet. He's not going to have their draft. This thing, green flag pit stops have just changed everything for this stage, folks, with 5 laps to go. This has now become a 3-race battle. Irvin by himself in 4th. Dougie Higgins back here in 5th. But he's got help with Gary Wells, Austin Walton, Robert Asong just behind him. Trenton Branson with him. Daniel Smith, he's back here with Rayshawn Wingfield, Ronnie Norman. Remember, both of those two getting black flags under those green flag pit stops. So everything changing for these two. Jester going back down on second lap. this race not shaping up the way that the 21 of Cam Jester wanted. 3 laps to go this time. Cole Morton making a move on Trenton Branson here in the 32. That's going to propel the 94 up into 12th. Can he get a run on the drivers ahead of him and get back up inside the top 10 where he spent the majority of this opening stage tonight? With 3 laps to go, folks, everything has flipped. Adam Curtis, he's just outside points paying position. He's in 11th. Caleb Lamb, he's in it. Bollinger, he's up inside the top 10. Now making a move on Robert Asong. They have left the 8 out to dry. Now he falls back to the 11th spot. Curtis, he's now up inside the top 10 with 2 to go. Steve Bocock has gotten around the 25 of Matt Tucker, who got stuck battling with the 21 machine of Camden Jester. Now Peyton to luck. Steve Bocock bumper to bumper here through turns 1 and 2. Bocock, you know he's not going to be happy just riding around behind the 17 machine of Tulloch. Where is he going to try to make the move? Jester, 2 laps down, but can definitely play a part in who wins this stage as they are coming to the white flag this time for stage 1. James, your pole sitter, he's out of this race. Jean, he's out in 24th. But folks, white flag is in the air for stage 1 here tonight. 1 lap to go here in stage 1. To luck, Bocock, Tucker, your top 3, all in this 4-car pack here at the front of the field. Dougie Higgins back in that 4th position. He's a long ways away. Not going to play a factor here in the battle for the stage win. But Steve Bocock all over the back bumper of the 17 of Payne to luck. Tucker trying to get a run with the 21 of Jester. Nothing doing this time down the backstretch. Is Bocock going to be able to get a run this time through turns 3 and 4? To luck, showing the way out front. Bocock, he's going to do everything he can to get there and get this stage win. He's going to go to the outside. Jester doesn't go with him. But Bocock with the run, he's going to get to the stage win. Steve Bocock wins the opening stage here of season 10. Steve Bocock, we said it. Don't ever count him out at super speedways. And here he is getting the first stage win of the season. I said it. He has won everything but the races when it comes to points paying races here at super speedways. But tonight, getting it kicked off on the right foot in that number 12 Chevy Monte Carlo. Steve Bocock wins stage 1. Bocock to luck. Matt Tucker, Dougie Higgins, Gary Wills, Austin Walton, Colin Bollinger, Caleb Lamb, Adam Curtis, and Robert Asong. Your top 10 at the end of this stage. But folks, we're going to back it up here real quick, and we're going to take a look at the move that the 12. I didn't like the way the camera decided to go to that static camera, so we didn't get to look at the move that the 12 made, setting up that 17 out of turn 4. Here they are, all over the back bumper, the 17 out of 4. Goes to the outside. 17, nothing that Tulloch can do about it. And then just taking all the momentum, barely getting him at the line. Look at just how close it is right there, folks. That is about as close as it can get. And folks, that is just for the stage win. We are now racing for that checkered flag. But folks, we're going to step away here for a quick break. Don't go anywhere because we will be right back here for more of the action from Daytona International Speedway. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
He traded his guns for love, but he's caught in the crossfire. And he keeps waking up, but it's not to the sound of birds. The tyranny, the violent streets, deprived of all that we're blessed with. And we can't get enough, no. Heaven, if you sent us down, so we could build a playground for the sinners to play as saints. You'd be so proud of what we made. I hope you got some beds around, 'cause you're the only refuge now. For every mother, every child, every brother that's caught in the crossfire. That's caught in the crossfire. I trade my luck to know why he's caught in the crossfire. And I'm here waking up to the sun and the sound of birds. Society's anxiety deprives of all that we're blessed with. We just can't get enough, no. Heaven, if you sent us.
All right, folks, welcome back here to the NEXXTCAR Racing League, where we have just ended the first stage here at Daytona International Speedway. And it all stemmed from one heck of a move out of the 12 of Steve Bocock. Let's see if we can't dial up the driver. Steve Bocock, it's Ronnie in the booth. You got me, buddy?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, man. You have won everything when it comes to super speedways except for points-paying races. Well, tonight, you got that stage win. What's it going to take to get that 12 to victory lane tonight?
Well, it's going to take a lot of teamwork with the guys I'm running with, and we just had good fuel strategy there, and just knowing when to make the right move at the very end. I'm not sure the leader's the place you want to be.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you on that one. Walk me through those green flag pit stops, because for several other drivers that struggled, y'all were able to get onto pit road cleanly and get off together.
Well, we lost one of our guys coming into pit road, but these cars are really hard to stop. So I think being that it's just a new car for us, that we really have to start hitting that brake a lot earlier than we're used to. So just getting her down and getting her into the pits and out, we got lucky there, and we had a big enough lead that we could stay out front. Absolutely.
And one last question before I let you go back racing here. Walk me through that move coming off of 4 to get that stage win.
Well, we're all teammates, and I knew I was going to try to make a move. I didn't want to do it too early. One of our teammates kind of did it a little too early. So I don't know. I've always been a good super speedways racer, and I just feel like I can, you know, as Earnhardt used to say, I could see the air. So I just knew when to make the move, and I just had a ton of run on him, and it was easy to get there.
Absolutely, buddy. Congrats on the stage win, and who knows, maybe you can get that DuPont Chevy to victory lane for the first time tonight.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. But, folks, that was your Stage 1 winner, Steve Bocock. He qualified 5th. He got the stage win, so clearly he has got a bad, fast Chevy Monte Carlo underneath him tonight. But, folks, he is going to have to come from just inside the top 10 in 9th if he is going to find his way to that checkered flag. But out front, we have got your outside pole sitter, Cole Morton, leading us back to that green flag here after pit stops in that Morton Men Racing 94 Chevy. Just to his outside, Kevin Radican. Row 2 is going to go to Peyton Tulloch and Matt Tucker. Row 3, Colin Bollinger, Dougie Higgins. But, folks, the lights are off on that iRacing pace truck. That means one thing and one thing only. We are going back racing this time. The pace truck looking to hook that hard left back onto pit lane. The control of the field is in the hands of the 94 of Cole Morton. Into the NEXXTCAR restart zone we go. We are back underway here at Daytona for stage 2, folks. 51 laps to go to settle it all here in the season 10 opener. Up through the gears they go, bumper to bumper, side by side here down the front stretch into turns 1 and 2. Morton clears the field. Is he going to stay to the bottom, or does he bounce to the outside in front of the 3 of Radican? He decides to stay to the bottom just in front of Peyton Tulloch in the 17. That inside line already has a lot more cars in it than that outside line. But right now, that outside line holding strong, dead even with the leader here in the 3 and 4. Morton holding his own down low. But here comes the 3 of Radican trying to power it back. But the second car on the outside line of Tucker got a little squirrely, and that stacked up everything. Now Tucker abandons the outside line. He drops to the bottom. Morton's going to lead his first laps of the race. Oh, now the 4 Lamb trying to work his way back to the bottom. He's going to be able to do so just ahead of the 86. But folks, with 50 laps to go here at Daytona, it is getting close to go time. We are just over the halfway point of this race tonight, folks. I think a car's going around out back. Is that Branson? Big save by Bokar. Can he keep it under control? I think they all kept it straight. I don't know how all 22 drivers just kept their Gen 4 Cup cars going straight there through 3 and 4. Unbelievable. Folks, we don't normally do this under a live racetrack, but we're going to back it up and buckle up because this is a wild ride for the 12 of Bocock. Yeah, he just gets a big shot right there from the 30 of Gary Wells, and somehow, some way, he was able to keep that car under control. Right there, gets a little bit of a bump. And that was just enough to lift the rear of that car up off the ground. But man, what a whale of a save there by Steve Bocock in the 12, and everybody else around him avoiding him. But back to the live action here on lap 53, coming to 48 laps to go this time. Bocock back in now that 15th position. But out front, Cole Morton continuing to lead the way. The 24, Lonnie Wiggins. Sorry, Lonnie Wiggins is lap down. Oh, he's going to get close with the 8 of a song there. That's going to force the 24 to the outside. Now he's going to drop back to the bottom just ahead of the 4 of Caleb Lamb. Lamb with a full-headed steam had to lift. Oh, he's going to get a 24 a little sideways through the trial with this time. That's going to push him up. But folks, we are just over the halfway point of this race. 54 laps completed. 47 laps to go of this 250-mile race. But folks, what do you say we turn up the volume here of these Gen 4 cars in their debut race in NEXXTCAR, and let's NEXXTCAR it up here at Daytona. And folks, you just saw it off the hood cam of Rayshawn Wingfield under caution for the third time tonight. The field falling apart through turns 3 and 4. Daniel Smith immediately having to tow. Oh, it all stacks up just ahead of him. Something with the 48 of Irvin. It looks like everything just kind of stacked up just ahead of him. Yeah, right there, all bad push. Yeah, bad push to the 86 right there. Kind of stacked everything up from Gary Wells on back right there. Yeah, and then everything just... Man, then Bocock all over the back bumper of Kayla Lamb just ahead of him. Yeah, man. Yeah, right there. They're already stacking up. Yeah, Bocock's all over the back bumper of Lamb just ahead of him. Nowhere for those guys to go. The 48 comes back down across the track, grabs the 69 of Curtis. He goes into the inside wall. Rayshawn Wingfield's around a 31 of Smith's around 48. Heavy damage to the front and back of that car. Man, let's ride around with that 48. Let's jump inside the helmet cam. Man. Now let's jump inside the helmet cam of Bocock. Just nothing you can do. Once it starts ahead of you, it's game on. Right there is no idea the checkup's happening until it's too late. Hasong heavy damage to the left front of that number 8 as well. Now, you saw Rayshawn Wingfield go around out back here. He does a great job of locking it down here. Gets up into that outside wall a little bit. Keeps it going straight, but, man, just gets into the back of the 69 in front of him. Not sure if maybe he ran over from behind or not. Nah, just maybe doesn't expect the 69 to drop down there. Man. And Irvin coming back down the track collecting them. But, folks, under caution for the third time tonight. But we're going to step away here for a quick break, folks. Don't go anywhere because we have got more of the action from Daytona right around the corner. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. All right, folks, welcome back here to Daytona International Speedway for the first race of Season 10 for the NEXXTCAR Cup Series. Getting ready to go back racing after the big one here for the third caution of the night. Cole Martin leading the field down here into the NEXXTCAR restart zone is the pace car, hooking that hard left back onto pit lane. The control of the field is in the hands of the 94, and back underway here at Daytona we go. Up through the gears they go, bumper to bumper, side by side. Morton, he clears the outside line. Can he move up? No, Norman moves down. Norman immediately hooking that hard left, dropping down to the bottom line, just ahead of Matt Tucker in the 25. That leaves Dougie Higgins leading the charge on the high line. He says, I don't want it. I'm dropping back to the bottom as well. That leaves Branson now leading the charge by himself. He's got a big gap back to the 30 of Gary Wills on the outside as well. Hunter Manley going to get stuck. Rayshawn Wingfield's going to get stuck in the middle here by himself. Stuck in no man's land. 30 now to the back bumper of the 32. Lamb just behind those guys. A lot of drivers tonight taking full advantage of the one fast repair we do run on super speedways. But these drivers better not get too used to it, folks, because this is the only track that they will have a fast repair all season long until we get to Talladega in the chase. Super Speedway is the only track that we allow fast repairs. So several drivers taking full advantage of that opportunity tonight. But out front, Morton, Norman, Tucker, Tulloch, and Higgins leading the field here in your top 5. Let's check in on Daniel Smith here. He was leading when the green flag pit stop started in that first stage. Sped onto pit road, and that changed everything for that 31. Same with Norman, but he's back up here in the second position in that number 7. Right now, Jester, James, and Jean, your 3 retirees in 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. The field single file here through turns 1 and 2 with 39 laps to go. Let's take a look at your race recap here on lap 63 of 100. Your current leader, Cole Morton. We've had 3 cautions for 9 laps and 5 lead changes here at Daytona. A 100 laps. Stage 1 was 45 laps. This final stage here is 55 laps. Dougie Higgins inside the top 5 in that 5th position, that number 49 machine. Just ahead of him, the 17 of Peyton Tulloch. Just behind him, Kevin Radican in the 3. Something happened to the 15 of Hunter Manley. He's all the way back here in that 18th position by himself. 11 seconds off the pace, behind the cars in front of him. So something amiss with the 15 Chevy of Hunter Manley back here in that 18th position by himself. Caleb Lamb at the tail end of this field here in that 17th spot. Let's jump on the gyro cam here of Caleb Lamb and check out this 30-degree banking of Daytona International Speedway. Turns 1 and 2. Robert Babcock drifts up in the trial there in the Miller Lite Ford Taurus. Oh, and I think someone just went head on into the outside wall out back. Big carnage here through turns 1 and 2. Branson, Gary Wills, Caleb Lamb, all involved in this one. 3 teammates all together. Let's back it up and let's see what just happened. Oh, it starts way ahead of him. It looks like with the 86 of Kraus. Oh, man, the 1 got into him hard right there. Looks like the field just kind of stacked up pretty good right there. Let's jump on the roof cam of Rayshon Wingfield into 1. There, right there, the field just, everything stacked up just ahead of these guys. And, man, Lamb, Gary Wills, Trenton Branson, all involved in this one. Not what you want to see if you were, excuse me, if you are a fan of that WLT2 racing team. Let's back it up and let's see what these 2 drivers saw. Branson just behind him. Yeah, everything just kind of checked up just ahead of them and nothing that those guys could do. Man. Gary Wills just behind this. Oh, just runs over the 32. And then he gets ran over from behind by the 4, I believe. Just nowhere for these guys to go once it all starts. Yep. Man. But carnage through turns 1 and 2 here at Daytona. But folks, pit lane is busy. But folks, we're going to step away here for a quick break. Don't go anywhere because we have got more of the action from Daytona International Speedway. Here is a word from our premier sponsor, True Designs. Tired of scrolling for what seems like an eternity looking for that perfect paint scheme to race? Tired of finding the right scheme just to see other people running the same scheme as yours in your race? Then look no further than True Designs. True Designs is an all-new up-and-coming custom scheme designer that is dedicated to delivering you the perfect custom scheme of your dreams without breaking the bank. True Designs is dedicated to bringing your dream paint scheme to life and to victory lane. Starting this season, True Designs has signed a new sponsorship with the NEXXTCAR Racing League. Join the True Designs community for just $30 a scheme or 3 for $60. True Designs, redefining design one masterpiece at a time. All right, folks, welcome back here to Daytona International Speedway, where we are cleaning everything up here from our 4th caution of the night. Cole Martin is going to come off of pit road with the lead here. Cole Morton, Ronnie Norman, Peyton Tulloch, Matt Tucker, Steve Bocock, your top 5. The 12 back in this thing. Remember, he won stage 1, but then got caught up in a couple of incidents there. But now, that number 12 Chevy Monte Carlo, he is right back in the thick of it all here in that 5th position. Paul Irvin 6th, Austin Walton 7th, Trenton Branson 8th, Daniel Smith coming down. He was being scored in that 9th position. And now Lonnie Wiggins will take over ninth, and the rest of the field from 10th on back, all on pit lane. Drivers coming back down to top off here in this one. But folks, the lights are off on that iRacing pace truck. That means one thing and one thing only. We are getting ready to go back racing. The pace truck leading the field off of turn 4 once again, hooking that hard left onto pit lane. The control of the field is in the hands of the 94 machine. Into the restart zone we go. Green flag back in the air here at Daytona. 31 laps to go here in this one. Morton once again gets a great launch. That's going to allow the 7 of Norman to drop back down here into second. To luck. Falling into that third position, that leaves Matt Tucker leading the charge on the outside line with Paul Irvin just behind him. Oh, and around's going to go the 12 of Bocock in front of the field. Here through turns 1 and 2, Bocock sitting sideways here on the front stretch. Caution is back out here in this one. We're just talking about the recovery of the 12, but now... Oh, he just drifts up right there. Yeah, he left a big hole there. Yeah, right there. He keeps. I don't know what he was trying to. I'm trying to think if he was maybe trying to go up there to get Tucker or what. I think he was trying to get up there behind the 25, but the 48 was there. And just had to make a decision to stay in there. 25 decided to come down. The 12 thought he could come down. And, well, unfortunately, the 9 was right there. Let's back it up and let's jump on the roof cam of Austin Walton in the 9. Yeah, right there. He's going up the track a little bit. Then right there. And then, man. But, folks, under caution for the 5th time tonight. Morton, Norman, Tulloch, Tucker, Irvin, your top 5 with Wiggins, Branson, Walton, Hassong, and Babcock, your top 10. Let's do a quick through the field here as we are under caution once again. Cole Morton, currently your leader here, started in that second position outside of the front row. Well, not much has changed here for that 94. He is still out front here in this one, leading the way. Ronnie Norman in that second position. Well, he was in second, coming down pit road. That's going to leave Morton the only the only car to stay out. Man, Morton, Babcock, he's going to be up there in that second position. But folks, the lights are off on the pace truck this time. That means we are going back racing next time by. You can see a couple of the drivers down on that apron doing everything they can to save fuel. It's going to be 28 laps to go this time by, so these drivers doing everything that they can to save every ounce of fuel they possibly can. You know, we talked about it in the pre-race show. Peyton Tulloch mentioned strategy was going to be huge today. Well, here we are. These drivers know that. They're doing everything they can. They've all come down. Most of them have topped off under this last pace lap. From everybody from 9th on back, Daniel Smith, he led the field back onto pit lane to top off. So everybody from 9th on back all came down under this last pace lap. But folks, once again, Cole Morton gonna lead the field back around to the green flag. And we are back racing here at Daytona. 27 laps to go. Up through the gears they go. Cole Morton once again clears the outside line, being led by Robert Babcock. Now, here comes Norman. He's trying to work his way. Babcock's going to drop to the bottom just ahead of Norman. Two-car breakaway out front so far. Morton, Babcock. Then he got a car width back to the 7 of Norman. Just behind him, Tucker all over his back bumper. Payne Tulloch all over his. Paul Irvin leading the charge on the high line. He's going to think about dropping back down to the bottom, and he will. That leaves Steve Bocock by himself up top. He's going to drop down in front of the 86 of Kraus. Man, aggressive move by the 12 of Bocock to get back down to the bottom of the track, but he does so. The 9 come into pit road. Austin Walton, Caleb Blam, they got black flag penalties to serve. Here they come down together. But out front, Cole Morton, 26 laps to go, lead the way here over Babcock and Norman. Adam Curtis leading the charge on the outside line at 69. Currently 1 lap down. Wells has taken that 30 machine to the hauler. Lamb still on pit road serving his penalty. You see Austin Walton down and away serving his. Kevin Radican riding around on that high line just behind Adam Curtis in the 69. He's now going to drop to the bottom just ahead of the 48 of Paul Irvin. Payne Tulloch just ahead of him in the 17 with Tucker out his front windshield. But it is a huge 2-car breakaway out front. Cole Morton, Robert Babcock leading the field out of turn 2. Adam Curtis side drafting his way just ahead of the 7 of Norman. Adam Curtis with a big run to the back bumper of Robert Babcock. He's going to try to look to the outside of the 2, nothing doing. Just remember, Curtis is still 1 lap down. Now Babcock's making a move to the outside of Cole Morton in 94. 2 making a move to the outside. Here comes the 69 to help. Babcock clears Morton. They both drop down. Morton falls back to 2nd. Up into the outside wall. I think that's Austin Walton, and it is. as the leaders come by on the inside. Morton's going to lose the draft of the two cars in front of him. Babcock, he's got Curtis just behind him. But now, coming to 23 laps to go this time, Irvin and Tucker, they're in a side-by-side battle. Here comes Paul Irvin with the help from Trenton Branson in the 32. Branson trying to get to his back bumper. Morton, he's now got the draft off the 69. It is now a 2-horse breakaway out front for the lead. Babcock and Morton with the lap car of Adam Curtis between them. But look at this, folks. Paul Irvin, Trenton Branson, the duo. They have worked their way to the front of the second pack, but look at what it's costing them. They have now completely lost the draft of the two out front. Morton, loving what he's seeing in his rearview mirror, but here he goes making a move, trying to get Curtis out of here. He's going to shuffle the 69 out. Now Morton's on the back bumper of the leader, Babcock. Now Irvin, Branson starting to fall back on that outside line. Morton making a move out front. He gets to the outside of Babcock in the 2. Not clear. Not going to be able to drop down in front of the leader. That's going to make him stall out side by side. Here comes Curtis. Curtis jumps up to help. And just behind these guys, folks, look at the field. 3 cars by themselves outside line. The rest of the field inside line, being led by Ronnie Norman in the 7. That second pack slowly but surely starting to run down your front 2 leaders. 0.7 of a second the gap this time at the line. Out the front windshield of the 12 of Steve Bocock. Just behind the 3 of Kevin Radican. Coming to 20 laps to go this time, folks. Babcock, Morton, bumper to bumper. Then it's a second, back to third place, Paul Irvin, Ronnie Norman, and the rest of the NEXXTCAR Cup Series. Irvin, he dropped to lead the charge on that inside line. That left Branson all by himself. But now Irvin up in that third position, leading the charge from this second pack. Daniel Smith led 23 laps at the beginning of this stage. He was leading up until the green flag pit cycles happened before the end of stage 1. Had to serve a penalty, but has yet to find his way back up to the front. He's now inside the top 10, but when it comes to super speedway racing, or any track for that matter, you never want to count out that 31. Can Daniel Smith work his way back up to the front? Steve Bocock, your stage winner, just ahead of him in the 12. He's led 3 laps today, and that one got him pay dirt at the end of stage 1. Can he get back up there after being involved in a couple of incidents? But now, that front pack, 2.6 seconds out front and growing as they continue to run side by side at the front of the second pack, and it is doing nothing but slowing the second group down. Now Branson jumps to the front here, the second pack. but has the damage been done? 3.1, make it 3.2 seconds, the gap out of turn 2. Babcock, Morton, they're together in the front pack. Branson on back, they're together in the second pack. "17 laps to go here in the opening race of Season 10. Babcock, Morton, Branson, Irvin, Norman, your top 5 with Tucker, Tulloch, Radican, Bocock, and Smith, your top 10. Kevin Radican trying to make a move to the outside here. He's going to get to the outside of Bocock. Now looking for more. He's going to get to the outside of Tulloch. He's now going to side draft his way to the outside of Matt Tucker. Now trying to side draft his way up to the outside of Ronnie Norman. He's going to be able to do so. He's now getting some more help up front. Up top. Norman's going to bounce up there. Tucker's going to get stuck in no man's land. Can he get back down to the bottom? He cannot, but he's going to get help from the 17 of Tulloch. These guys getting racy back here in the second pack. Wingfield up into the outside wall. He's going to try to keep it under control just ahead of Dougie Higgins. And around goes Wingfield. Caution is out once again. The 12 of Bocock. Major damage for your stage winner. Unbelievable. It all started with Rayshawn Wingfield getting up into the outside wall right there and just couldn't quite gather that Pennzoil Chevy back up. Higgins got into him, turned him. Man. Bocock right there in the middle has no idea what is about to land in his lap. Let's jump on the helmet cam of the 12 of Bocock. And the hood flying up on that DuPont Chevy. Man. You hate to see it for your stage winner. The front bumper down on the apron. But folks, under caution for the 6th time tonight. But out front, Robert Babcock, Cole Morton. This is not what they wanted to see. Remember, folks, they had themselves a 6-second lead over the rest of the NEXXTCAR Cup Series field. Well, now everybody is back bumper to bumper. So this is the last thing that the 2 and 94 wanted to see. But, folks, we're going to step away for a quick intermission here before we go back racing here at Daytona. Don't go anywhere because we have got more of the action right around the corner. All right, folks, welcome back here to the NEXXTCAR Racing League here at Daytona International Speedway, where we are getting ready to go back racing, and we are quickly closing in on that checkered flag tonight. The pace truck leading the field out of turn 4, looking to hook that hard left onto pit lane. The control of the field is in the hands of the 53 of Colin Bollinger. Into the restart zone we go. Green flag back in the air here at Daytona. Daniel Smith gets a great launch. He's going to drop to the bottom. That's going to leave the 49 of Dougie Higgins all by himself up top. He's going to find a hole to drop down into. Now that leaves the 3 of Kevin Radican by himself with the 94, a couple car lengths back. Morton dropped down to the bottom of the 94. That's going to leave no hole for the 3 to drop down into. He's going to try to get in between the Morton machine and Irvin. Irvin's going to bounce it to the outside. And that is going to slow up that second pack right there, folks. Watch what this does between the 3 and the 94 machine. Irvin's going to drop back, and he tucked back in. But out front, Daniel Smith, Colin Bollinger, Hunter Manley, Dougie Higgins, Robert Babcock, your top 5. All bumper to bumper here in this one. On the roof cam of this Robert Babcock machine back here in that 5th position with, folks, 10 laps to go here at Daytona in the opening race of Season 10. Tonight, these drivers have been putting it all on the line here in the Gen 4 Cup Series. Cole Morton making a move, try to get to the outside of the 92. Oh, he's going to barely get in front of the 32 and drop down in front of him. Morton, he's now going to lead the charge of this second pack. But here comes Reddick, and he's going to get up there. Here comes Adam Curtis. He's going to get up there. That's going to bounce Lonnie Wiggins to the outside all by himself. He's going to fall back to the back. But, folks, you can see just what it does when you get to battling side by side like this in the Gen 4 Cup Series. It stalls that group out. They have fallen way back behind the lead pack. Radican, 3.6 seconds behind your leader, who is the leader of this second pack. Let's jump on the helmet cam of the 3 and see what he sees out of his windshield. Not a whole lot of anything, as the lead pack is now getting side by side ahead of him. That's exactly what he wants to see. He wants to see those guys getting side by side up here, because that'll slow down that lead pack with 8 to go. But now that lead pack back to being single file, not what that second pack wants to see. Pain to luck at the tail end of this thing with Matt Tucker just ahead of him. Pain to luck, oh so close to winning the stage tonight. But Steve Bocock, unfortunately, now that 12 heavily damaged, missing the front fender, the front bumper. Just out here limping around because he knows that that big one might be looming here in the next 7 laps. But now that front pack's starting to get split up, folks. You can see it paint to luck. He's losing the draft off of Robert Babcock just ahead of him. Babcock, he's starting to fall off the back bumper of the 49 of Higgins. This front pack starting to split apart here. To luck, Norman, Tucker, bumper to bumper. Are they going to be able to run back down your lead pack? It is a 5-car breakaway here in this one, folks. To luck, 2.5 seconds back. Radican, they're starting to run down the second pack. If these two packs can form together, they should be able to work together and catch this lead pack with about 2 laps to go at the rate that they are working. But they have got to stay single file. They cannot get side by side and stall each other out. They have got to work together to run down those front 5. Oh, Morton's going to get tight. He's going to go up the track. Manley, he's going to try to work his way up into third, and he will. The big question, Kevin Radican. He has got to, if he's going to make this pass, he has got to do it quickly. You cannot afford to get side by side with these guys and stall out. You've got to work your way around them. And just, big save by the 3 of Radican. But just like that, folks, that is going to ruin all of their momentum, and this group is going to get stuck side by side. Oh, Curtis trying to force his way up into a gap that's not there. And around goes Austin Walton. Tucker hard into the outside wall. Caution is out with 5 to go. No, we stay green. Tucker, the right front, completely broke off the 25. Now the caution flies. And that, folks, has changed everything. Tucker, heavy damage on the right front of that GMAC 25. He's going to immediately bring it to pit road. You almost felt like it was going to happen. Right there. Curtis kind of gets everything right there. And then Branson comes down, but Irvin just a push gone wrong right there a little bit after the field gets stacked up here. Right there, everyone trying to keep it under control. But unfortunately, Austin Walton, after getting a bump from behind by Irvin, was not able to do so. Let's jump on the roof cam of that 25 machine. Right there, Curtis kind of trying to force his way down to the bottom, maybe trying to get underneath the 94 machine. But right there, the 32 comes down, but unfortunately the 9 came down a little more after the bump from the 48. Yeah, right there, a big checkup out of the 9. I think he thought the 32 was going to wreck. Right there, look at the checkup. Man. Let's jump on board the 9 and listen to the throttle. Yeah, right there, you heard him jump way out of the throttle. Let's back it up and listen to it one more time. Let's back it up for this whole thing. Yeah, trying to feather the throttle as much as he could there to stay out of the back of the 32 ahead of him, but unfortunately, just once it all stacked up in front of him, he had to lift, and, well, it was all on from there. But, folks, under caution for the 7th time tonight, 6th time for an incident on track. Matt Tucker has gotten that 25 Chevy fixed, and he is back down and away. But, folks, the lights should be going off that iRacing pace truck this time, and it is. But, folks, for the first time here in Season 10, we are going NEXXTCAR Overtime Racing to kick it off here at Daytona International Speedway. What could possibly go wrong? These drivers, they have got 3 attempts at NEXXTCAR Overtime. Bollinger, Smith, row 1. Manley, Higgins, row 2. Babcock, Radican, row 3. Morton, Tulloch, row 4. Curtis and Branson, row 5. The winner can come from anywhere here at Daytona International Speedway. Will it be a car that we have seen up front all night long, or will we start Season 10 off with a surprise winner? Only time will tell. But, folks, the pace truck getting ready to hook that hard left onto pit lane. The control of the field is in the hands of the 31 of Daniel Smith. Into the restart zone we go. Green flag is back in the air here at Daytona. And, folks, we are NEXXTCAR Overtime. Smith gets a great launch. He drops it back down to the bottom of the track in front of Bollinger. Bollinger, no help from behind with Higgins. Higgins stuck on the outside line all by himself. Hunter Manley trying to work his way up to the 2 leaders. Now Higgins drops in front of Babcock. Morton just behind Babcock in the 94 and 6th. Where is the run going to come from? Where is the move going to be made? Morton jumps to the outside. He's got Kevin Radican with him. Peyton Tulloch goes with him as well. Morton trying to make the move. Side drafts Babcock. Babcock's going to fall back into 2. But now can Morton get to the outside of Dougie Higgins in the 94? White flag this time presented by True Designs here at Daytona International Speedway to kick off Season 10. White flag in the air. Morton, he has to fall back in line behind Higgins in the 2. Out of turn 2 for the final time tonight, folks. The field, single file. Daniel Smith, Colin Bollinger, bumper to bumper. Hunter Manley just behind him. Where does the winning move come from? Who makes the first move? No one wants to be the first guy out until they come out of turn 4. We are getting ready for another NEXXTCAR Overtime finish, but they're just going to stay in line, and Daniel Smith is going to win in his return here to NEXXTCAR. Daniel Smith wins the opening race here at Daytona for Season 10. Daniel Smith, in his return to the NEXXTCAR Racing League, is going to victory lane here in the Keystone Light number 31 Chevy Monte Carlo. Started in that 9th position, but at the checkered flag, he is grabbing his first win of season 10 and kicking it off on a high note here at Daytona. Burning it down on the front stretch at the start-finish line. Daniel Smith, Hunter Manley, both in their returns to NEXXTCAR, walk away with a top 3 finish for both. But Smith doing the victory burnouts tonight. But folks, let's check out your race results from tonight. Daniel Smith going to walk away with the opening win here of Season 10. Colin Ballinger second, Hunter Manley third, Dougie Higgins fourth, and Cole Morton rounding out your top 5. 6 is going to go to the rookie, Kevin Radican. 7th, Peyton Tullock. 8th, Robert Babcock. Adam Curtis in 9th, with Lonnie Wiggins rounding out your top 10. Ronnie Norman in 11th, Matt Tucker 12th, Trenton Branson 13th, Paul Irvin 14th, Steve Bocock 15th, Austin Walton 16th, Robert Asong 17th, Caleb Lamb 18th, Josh Kraus 19th, with Rayshawn Wingfield rounding out your top 20. 21st is going to go to Gary Wills, 22nd, Cam Jester, 23rd, Patrick James, and 24th, Kyle St. Jean rounding out your NEXXTCAR Cup Series field tonight. But folks, we're going to step away here for a quick break. Don't go anywhere because we have got your post-race interviews right around the corner. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Every child, every brother is caught in the crossfire. Is caught in the crossfire. He's caught in the crossfire. He's caught in the crossfire. I'm checking my vital signs, drawing my battle lines, going to war again. Feeling the rhythm inside of my chest, all I need is just a pen. I know I was born for this. I know I was born for this. Don't care for the critics, my words are like physics, a force that they can't stop. They just don't get it, I think they forget I'm not done till I'm on top. I know I was born for this. I know I was born for this. I believe we can write our story. I believe we can be an army. We are the warriors who learn to love the pain. We come from different places, but have the same name. Cause we were born for this. We were born for this. We are the broken ones who chose to spark a flame. Watch as our fire rages, our hearts are never tame. Cause we were born for this. We were born for this. I've struggled for years and through all of the tears I faced, the doubts I hide. I never gave in to my fears, deep within, cause I heard my voice inside. I know I was born for this. I know I was born for this. I will never lose my voice. If I cut out all the noise, I know I was born for this. I know I was born for this. I believe we can write a story. I believe we can be an army. We are the warriors who learn to love the pain. We come from different places, but have the same name. Cause we were born for this. We were born for this. We are the broken ones who chose to spark a flame. Watch as our fire rages, our hearts are never tame. Cause we were born for this. We were born for this. These words that I write are for someone like me to know you're not alone. The moves that you make, yeah, that come up mistakes. Don't ever lose your hope. Just know you were born for this. Just know you were born for this. We are the warriors who learn to love the pain. We come from different places, but have the same name. Cause we were born for this. We were born for this. We are the broken ones who chose to spark the flame. Watch as our fire rages, our hearts are never tame. Cause we were born for this. We were born for this. We were born for this. We were born for this.
All right, folks, welcome back here to your NEXXTCAR post-race interviews here from Daytona International Speedway. Daniel Smith in your return to the NEXXTCAR Racing League, walking it off in the opening race of Season 10 with the first trip to victory lane.
All right, man. I'm so excited. This for my teammate that wasn't able to get here. My teammate Andrew. Yeah, you okay? This one's for you and Team Delusional. Everybody at the shop.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Walk me through that. What happened on that green flag pit stop there, coming onto pit road? Obviously, you led the field down onto the pit lane, but, man, it did not go your way there.
Oh, yeah, I didn't have any brakes.
But
Pressed it down. It didn't stop.
yeah, no, these cars definitely you got to give them a little more brake than the next gen cars. But walk me through this race where it seemed like for a while there you couldn't really pass, you couldn't really go to the high side to make passes, so you really just had to set the guy up in front of you.
Yeah, like it was really hard to pass to get the upper lane going. I feel like maybe with enough cars it could be a possibility, but it was just tough to even do anything. So at that point we just That's the ride.
Yeah, absolutely. I was hyping you up during the race. I was like, Daniel Smith's one of the best in the business when it comes to racing, and you definitely proved it to be true tonight, leading 38 laps in the en route to the victory lane. But hey, the rest of the season, it's a challenger. But how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I'm optimistic about it. I haven't really done much with the Gen 4, so it's going to be interesting to be able to finally have a league to dip my toe in to see what this car can do. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a learning curve for sure, but I'm excited.
Absolutely, buddy. But hey, congrats on kicking season 10 off on the right foot with a trip to victory lane.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely pumped. Once again, thank you to my teammates. Without them, this win obviously wouldn't probably happen. I owe it all to them as well.
Absolutely, buddy. Congrats. Moving on to your second place finisher, Colin Bollinger. Man, what's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Not too bad, man. I'm feeling pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Daytona, we didn't know what to expect tonight coming in here with the Gen 4. Like you heard Daniel mention, he didn't have much experience. Well, as a league as a whole, we don't have any experience. So came in not knowing what to expect. But honestly, the racing was pretty good. But you had to be careful with these things and not get a little too bumpy on the back end.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of us in the practice, we kind of figured that out a little bit, and it was more about packing air on than really kind of getting your pushes in. But I mean, it was hard not to honestly all night long not stack up and honestly hit the guy in front of you, because I mean, there like Daniel said, it was so hard to run the outside of the track majority of the night, except one or two occasions. So I mean, we were all pretty much sardine down the bottom majority of the night, and it was just a pretty rough one. But I mean, all in all, I mean, a couple wrecks, but I don't think it was too bad.
Yeah, no, not at all. Walk me through your trip from the drop of the green flag in 17th to the checkered flag in 2nd here, because like I was talking with Daniel, the outside line didn't really seem to form a whole lot. I don't know if maybe guys just weren't, side drafting aggressive or what it was, but in a track that it kind of seemed a little hard to pass on, well, you gained 15 positions like it was nothing.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there wasn't really nothing too crazy. It was just stand on the bottom and wait for those guys that were courageous enough to go that side, pass them and let them in the dust, and that was really about it. I mean, it was just about just picking your spots, which the spot was on the bottom every time. But no, I mean, once we got through the stage, it was just the same thing, just see where the fuel would lie, and then we'd have a caution, and it resets the strategy, and then once we got to the end there, I mean, I think it was a 5-car pull away, and we were gone, and I think we had a little caution reset, and me playing and Hunter did the thing that we were planning to do, line up and just be happy with where we finished and roll on the next week. Absolutely,
buddy. Hey, it ain't a win, but it don't get much better than 2nd here at Daytona, so congrats on that.
Thank you, buddy.
Yes, sir. Moving on to your 3rd place finisher, Hunter Manley. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Long time no see.
Absolutely. Congrats with your 3rd place finish here, and you're welcoming back to NEXXTCAR. But, hey, same thing with you. You started 19th. You finished 3rd. Walk me through it.
Early in the race, a couple of us tried to work the outside, figured it really wasn't going anywhere, so we started playing strategy. I think with like 30 to go, we topped off again on that 2nd caution lap and saved an extra lap and let us basically pushed the pace a little bit to get to the front, and then luckily a caution fell our way while we were at the front. And once we all got lined up, I don't want to say it was going to be over, but I knew it was going to be tough to get around 3 or 4 of us because we were all just kind of locked up, nose to tail.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned it, 3 or 4. It seemed like you kind of had to pick guys off one at a time here tonight. You couldn't, it's not like the next gen where you could lay back, get a big run, pass 3 or 4, drop in front of them, and repeat. Tonight, it was like, oh, let me lay back, try to work my way around this guy, drop down in front of him, and set the next guy up.
Yeah, it was pretty much you could build just enough of a run to get a door-to-door, and then you had to kind of work to try to get that spot. But even with a couple guys in a row, you weren't getting a huge run to pass more than 1 car at a time. So you had to be smart and play really pit strategy for most of the race.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Looking forward to next week at Pocono. Obviously, that is a track that you've had a lot of success in. You go back a couple seasons in NEXXTCAR, you finished 2nd in back-to-back trips there. How do you feel about it?
I never thought I'd say this, but it's probably one of my favorite tracks, and I like the uniqueness of it. So hopefully we'll have some good luck there. Try to get a first at least this time.
Absolutely, buddy. Congrats on third in your return to NEXXTCAR.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. But, folks, that's going to do it for your post-race interviews here from Daytona International Speedway. Tomorrow night, the Xfinity Series comes right back here to the high banks of Daytona for 90 laps. So make sure you tune in for the the O'Reilly Series return to NEXXTCAR. But enjoy the rest of your week. God bless, and good night.